Hello, SpeedGaming 4. Welcome to another exciting match of the No Logic tournament of A Link to the Past Randomizer. And we should be getting started any second here. So, this is game 2 of the lower bracket between FoxLisk and Tam. They're two veteran runners of A Link to the Past, both vanilla and the randomizer. Both of them are familiar with several different categories, so if you're not familiar with these two, this should be an exciting match. I am also joined my co-com and tracker IQ type.
Yep. Good evening. Good night, everybody.
At Link's house, fire rod right away. Alright, so for those that are not aware, no logic means that the items are placed without any checks for accessibility or beatability, and we are allowed to use several major glitches to deal with that. And in this particular preset for the tournament, there are 2 of each rod, 2 fire rods and 2 ice rods. And that is done for several reasons. So right away, Tam clips to check the man under the bridge, and we see a hook shot there. The hook shot is one of the most powerful items in the game in combination with other items, so I'd have to imagine both of our runners are very happy to see that right away. Tam is doing a swim clip. It's going to clip directly into the entrance of Ice Rod Cave, and Fox is following close behind. Fox also gets the swim clip.
Oh, let's see.
So just a piece of art there in Ice Rod Cave. Both of them doing a water walk. Tam is checking the island because he did not earlier. They did not. Just 20 rupees. So nothing exciting. That is accessible to us if we want to get that, but it's nothing worth going out of your way for. And nothing in the waterfall either. By the way, IQ type, are you hearing any game audio right now? I'm not hearing anything right now.
Well, I'm checking on it.
Thank you. So just bombs on Zora Ledge. No need to go out of your way for that.
So they're telling me about restreamer controls that I do not see. I see commentator and tracker.
Oh, so the stream isn't hearing any audio either. It's not just us.
Yeah, this is an issue with. I think I'll have to do the ping for help that everybody hates.
Oh, thank you for handling that. So we have the book in the Lost Woods and a small key to thieves in Sanctuary. Not a particularly important key, but who knows? It may be. I've seen it used to open a door in desert before, so it's an interesting point about this mode that keys are not necessary, but they can be helpful. And there are a lot of ways to use keys that are not conventional.
All right, so we should be getting Tam's audio in a second here. Tam is using the one of the Ace Attorney games audio. Fox is using. I heard what he said, but I've forgotten now. We'll get a sample of it later.
All right. Well, sounds good. So I missed what was on the lumberjack. It's worth noting that if for whatever reason we did want to get the item on lumberjack, which is unlikely, that there is a way to get directly to the top of Aga Tower. Nobody has to climb it or anything. And we're getting the not often seen Hera DMA from Tam. Okay, Fox. I'd imagine we'll do the quote-unquote new DMA. Yeah, and that's what we're seeing. A clip
Right.
to enter the Old Man Rescue Cave directly without using the glove. Okay, just rupees on the ether tablet. A convenient location to pick up some bombs. Well, just teleport onto the top of Speck Rock on your way down the mountain.
All right, so I don't know why we're not hearing game audio at the moment. I might refresh the restream.
Yeah, feel free if you have to, if you think it will help.
I mean,
So
I
we see
definitely
20 rupees from the Old Man Rescue. It's interesting that Fox chooses to go for the blue mail in the Hera basement cage, but Tam does not. I probably would skip it myself. You'll probably get the other one in a chest that's on your way anyway. And there are several advantages of being able to death warp, especially in this mode. Tam has done a Graveyard Ledge DMD or Death Mountain Descent. Gets a small key to Ice Palace, but more importantly, is able to restock bombs.
So what was there on Floating Island?
I looked down to read the chat for a second and I missed it.
All right, well, I'm going to try refreshing the stream here to see if we get audio out of that.
Okay. So Tam has done a Houlihan, which is easy to do after you do a glitchy descent from the mountain because the camera is slightly messed up. If the game does not know where to put you, it puts you into the Houlihan room. A convenient 225 rupees. Just a small key to Meyer in the dam. Meyer keys are only useful if we find the medallion. Oh, a sword, though. And Tam not getting the sword. You might wonder why he's not getting the sword. But if Tam finds a bottle, he can use a red or green potion to dupe that sword quite easily. So I understand putting off picking up that sword. We have seen a lot of sword go modes in this tournament, and the no logic double rods preset is notorious for causing people to have to do difficult go modes. Looked like just junk in Paradox Cave, and we saw the big key to ice in Mini Moldorm, which is just a fetch quest, really. Tam is doing what is known as a door juke, using bombs. By getting on the other side of a transition and approaching it from the other side, it takes you to a different room, and in this case, Mini Moldorm connects to King's Tomb. And his camera was not corrected, so we did not see the item, or at least I didn't. But he checked it, or it was checked. I'm curious how long Tam is going to put off picking up the sword, or if Fox will also put off picking it up. Yeah, Fox is also skipping it for now. Very interesting. Fox is having a time in Mini Moldorm Cave. Sometimes I like to just walk to the other side across the bottom and hookshot up. The Moldarms are very unable to dodge the hookshot with that approach. Fox also going for the door juke. Gets it very quickly. Okay, so it was blue mail in Paradox for Tam, but it was red for Fox. I am wondering if Fox is regretting getting the blue mail in Hera now.
I'm pretty sure they both have red now. I think they both got it in Hera.
I was pretty sure Tam skipped it, but I'm not 100%. I thought that they just walked down the stairs and walked back up without hitting the switch, but I could be wrong. So we see Fox checking out Kakariko. Tam is heading to Sahasrara. I think that was Swamp Small in blinds.
Yep.
That could be useful, but maybe not. Big key to desert. That can be used in Mire and Thieves Town as well, if they want to. Unfortunately, I missed the green pendant info on Tam's side.
Hera.
Hera. Well, that's kind of convenient because there are very few no logic seats where Moldorm is alive at the end of it. So
Tam must have a bottle
if
I
it's
missed? No.
it's so essentially there's two items on Moldorm now instead of one, so that's kind of interesting. So Tam is setting up a swim clip to check the back of Escape right now. There are a couple different ways to do this. It looks like Tam prefers to do the lower approach, which I'm not familiar with the way to do, or with the correct spacing to do it this way, but as long as the distance is correct, yeah, they know what they're doing, so that was pretty fast.
Alright, well, I tried to ping a race helper, but nobody is showing up. So I don't know what we're gonna do about the audio. Maybe nothing.
Well, that is unfortunate if that's the case. I do apologize to our viewers if we are unable to provide game audio. I hope that is not the case, though. So, other than the Desert Big Key, I don't think there was anything else in all of Kakariko at all of interest.
We did get a swamp small right there.
Yeah,
And desert
that might be
big.
useful. Big key to Hera in the desert big chest. Not really. Well, I mean, it might come in handy, but it's an extra item check that they didn't have, and there are a lot of reasons why you might need to have that door open as well. Well, really, mainly just one reason, actually, since they have the hook shot, but nonetheless.
Oh, that looked like an
Oh, there was
ice
an ice.
rod. I missed that.
Oh, I missed it too. Yeah. Well, we have no info on TR yet, but if it is a crystal, one of the two ice rods would definitely be required. Right now, we see Fox. Okay, has already done a quadrant glitch, and I just missed it. Yep, gets it. So when you're standing on the boundary between a quadrant in a room, and there are ways you can get desynced from your coordinates, and it allows you to take transitions and in a way that the game doesn't handle it correctly. So Fox was able to access the right side of desert without using a key.
That was a heart piece and rupees on the right side, although could have been sank heart.
Did Fox get the refill? I saw that they saved and quit out, but
Yes, there was a refill.
yeah, Fox is heading back towards desert right away to finish the route.
All right, so what I think Tam did there is he checked his menu, realized the refill was going to happen in desert, and got it there instead on the
That's a really
library.
smart play. Yeah, I've done something similar when going to check the waterfall because they getting dunked, quote unquote, is infuriating. But yeah, that was really smart by Tam to do that. Because Fox definitely set up a death warp and then saved and quit out anyway because of that refill. This is getting interesting. I am very curious how long both of them are going to put off grabbing that sword. Fox has changed his mind about where he wants to go. Meanwhile, Tam, just exploring desert, has also got the Hera Big Key from the Desert Big Chest. So we see the Graveyard Ledge descent from Fox once again. Corrects the camera by transitioning. I'm going to assume that was on purpose.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the swim to Sanctuary Basement afterwards.
Tam setting up the quadrant glitch this time. I don't understand this method of setting up the water walk, but I very rarely have seen anyone get it on their first try of doing it, though.
Yeah, it's a particular. So there are things you can't do on the D-pad. I forget the details now, but you have to know what know what know how it works and be very careful and practice it.
Fox is attempting the same swim clip we saw from Tam. I believe it was just a TR small on this Bombos tablet. Yeah. I wonder if Fox will bomb juke to the pyramid from here. Nope. Saving and quitting. It is a very difficult trick to do, and he would only get one item out of it, but we have seen it done in the tournament by a few different people. Fox is going to get his info on Hera being the green pendant, and Meyer Small in the back. Tam is doing the north moat clip to go to Aga Tower or Hyrule Castle or both. Okay, this is Aga Tower first. I'm a big fan of this north approach to Hyrule Castle, because even though Aga Tower checks aren't the quickest, I'm just a big fan of being generally thorough, especially in the beginning of the game.
I think Fox is tired of waiting for a bottle to show up. Time to get that sword.
Yeah. So you know what this means, right? It means that there's a bottle in the seed very soon coming up. So of note, one of the main reasons for doing Hyrule Castle in no logic versus a lesser glitched mode, where this is typically put off for a long time or until the mirror shows up, is that the big key of Hyrule Castle, which is always on the ball and chain guard, is one of the 4 cave state big keys. And when we explore dungeons in this mode, it is in what we call cave state sometimes. And what that means is we have accessed the dungeon from an underworld region that is not a dungeon. And the game only assigns a dungeon ID to the location you are at when you enter the front door of a dungeon. So using one of these 4 big keys where you're able to open big key locks such as the doors and big chests in the dungeons while in cave state. A fox following close behind to Hyrule Castle. I missed that map of Eastern in the Hyrule Castle map chest. The maps are very good in this mode. As with any key sanity mode, knowledge is very valuable. It can prevent you from beating bosses you don't need to beat. It can occasionally steer you wrong away from getting items that you didn't know were there by avoiding pendant dungeons as well, but I would think most people would rather know than not know the dungeon prizes. Quake in the secret passage by Uncle. We always like to see medallions in this mode because if Meyer is a crystal, bypassing the medallion requirement is one of the lengthiest endeavors that our runners may have to do. So I wonder where Tam's going now. Oh, flute activation. The flute is an interesting item. It can potentially save time but as with any glitched mode, it is never a required item.
All right, so we're going to do some attempts here to fix the audio, I think.
Okay, thank you.
The restream may flicker or go back and forth.
Okay, so Tam has done a screen wrap on Death Mountain basically just as a shortcut to get into Spectacle Rock Cave, and the bomb clip that was performed is called Key Skip. And so now Tam is in Palace of Darkness, but in Cave State. And when you're in Cave State in a dungeon, you can open any small key doors. And since Tam has one of the Cave State big keys, the one gotten from Hyrule Castle, they are able to open the big chest as well. Meanwhile, Fox is into Hera, finds the key to Hera in the compass chest. Fox is into the Moldorm fight. Immediately jumps on top of Moldorm. Meanwhile, we're getting some somewhat annoying and difficult darkroom navigation on Tam's side. Doing this room without a sword or without the lamp can be a little tricky. Yeah, it's smart to use bombs to help navigate. So just 10 arrows and the green pendant from Moldorm, but we already knew about the green pendant.
Interesting decision to pick that up. I have seen people leave that to try to get a warp back to the front of some dungeon after they collect it from, I guess that was elsewhere.
Well, in that case, it would always be a warp to the front of Hera, regardless of what dungeon prize that you're obtaining from that.
Yeah, so there was a
So
medallion.
that's not... Yeah, ether in the basement, yeah.
And now the tracker is not updating. So I definitely have Quake marked for Tam, and it's not showing up.
Yeah, I just assume that you're doing everything correctly. The SpeedGaming tracker is what it is.
All right, so it's marked on my screen. So
Also a glove in the Stealth House basement, huh?
Yeah. So items should fill in once we figured out what's going on. We may have messed things up trying to fix the audio.
So the glove is interesting. It is mostly convenience item, but it will allow them to... I mean, there are certain locations like Checkerboard Cave that have already been orphaned that could help them with. It's also good for Ice Pals.
I missed that first item on the right side of pod. Oh, pod small key? Cool.
There was one in Harmless Hellway as well. I missed that.
Maybe someone's a little late here.
So Tam is doing a bomb juke, and if successful, this will take them to Hookshot Cave. Meanwhile, Fox is also clipped into pod and is exploring. I'm sure we'll see that check again on Fox's side, who also gets Ether. A GT small in the big key chest of pod. So about the dungeon warps thing, that is true, and it's interesting that if you leave the prize on the ground when you clear a dungeon, and then you beat that boss or go to that room later in another dungeon state, you get warped to the front of that dungeon being the one that you actually collected the prize in. But I don't see the value in that for Hera because you can just save and quit to the mountain at any time to get to the mountain. And Fox knows there's an item on the green pendant. I could be missing something with that, but yeah, I don't really think there's a value in that. That's usually when like you get to Argus from desert or something like that. But we don't usually go to other places from Hera other than Swamp. Sword in Hookshot Cave. Oh, meanwhile, Fox has set up a statue drag. By storing this statue pulling animation, he'll be able to reach the boss of Pod using only bombs and this stored statue pulling animation. So by bombing yourself in the door while pulling, the bomb will snap you onto a certain pixel. And once that happens, the camera is all messed up. And you can see that his screen is wrapping. And so from this point, just has to pick up the pots and step on the switch a couple times. And now he's in Helmasaur's room. Tam also deciding to pick up the sword. The sword at the dam, the sunken treasure. Having already found one in Hookshot Cave. A nice Helmasaur fight from Fox. Using only the fighter sword, it's it can be a little bit difficult or annoying. Oh, and it's a crystal too. First crystal on the board for both runners. Fox hits it at 31 minutes. Ooh, 8 fighter sword spins to get that fight done. Okay, Fox back into pod. Probably going to do the right side. Okay, Fox is setting up a quadrant glitch. This has been affectionately called turtle power by some people. This is the same glitch that
Tam seems to be using powder, which I promise they have, to set an index, but just earlier this evening we had a race where it wasn't working because other Ancilla weren't on screen, so I'm not sure why Tam's would work. Tam's would work, but the earlier race wouldn't. Okay.
Okay, so the reason why is because Tam is trying to do it in such a way where they are interrupting the powder animation, and if they interrupt it soon enough, it should be able to set a high value. I do not know if that was successful or not, but screen transitioning, mirroring, or fluting will interrupt it. So I'm not sure exactly if it works, or if it was successful, but that's the theory behind it. So Fox has successfully reached Hookshot Cave, and I again missed that chest on the right side. So Powder was in Hookshot Cave as well. Oh, so the bird fills one of the Ancilla slots as well. That makes sense. So the thing about using powder for index is that you need the powder to be in slot 2, from my understanding of it. And in order to do that, you need to have some other Ancilla in the front slots. So we see Mitts in Super Bunny as well. I don't remember if Tam did that or not.
Yeah, Tam has Mitts. Tam has admits
Okay.
Tam also mapped and has seen that Meyer is a pendant.
Well, Meyer as a pendant is generally good news, even though they do have some of the medallions. So Tam has done a Bunny DMD, a Citrus clip. So I'm guessing this is a Skullwoods play because it's the easiest place to go in the Dark World when you don't have the Moon Pearl anyway.
Do it, Tam.
Big key. I do not think Tam was thinking about doing a manual right side clip to get that.
He
I think they were waiting for the spear people. I could be wrong though. Yeah, you might have been right though, because Tam is intentionally taking damage to set up the death warp, so maybe they were thinking about it. Meanwhile, Fox into TR gets the Meyer big in the Turtle Rock big key chest. See, the middle of Turtle Rock is a very interesting play in no logic because it's really slow if you don't have Samaria. Normally, we get the lava chest by using Samaria from the big chest room. So meanwhile, Tam has Dungeon Bunny revived, taken a death warp to get a link state. So Tam is able to explore Skullwoods as Link now.
All right, so
It's the big key to Swamp.
I'm being told there
Go
is
ahead.
a back end issue with the restream setup. So there's nothing we can do about the audio or the tracker not updating until it resolves.
That is very unfortunate to hear, and I do apologize to our viewers for the technical difficulty. I saw that Tam got a big key to Swamp, and I don't think much else so far in Skullwoods. That big key is just merely a fetch quest. A very difficult fetch quest right now with this loadout.
So FoxLisk headed into GT has 2 small keys. So likely we're going to see a bomb juke to get to at least the Stalfos room.
I would assume so. Fox used a similar clip that Tam used to descend the mountain, only this was to do a screen wrap and enter GT. Second fire rod, not helpful in Hope Room.
Does he have a hammer that I don't know about? No, just getting the key.
No, yeah, just stealing the key is generally a common practice before doing this, I think. So this bomb juke it's the same glitch that we already saw to get from Mini Moldorm to King's 2, only it's in an east door. By picking up an item in a doorway and pressing the direction out of the door, it snaps Link a certain amount of pixels, like without walking that distance, it just sets them a certain amount of pixels farther away. So using this, you can bypass the transition. And Fox is in the Dark Magician's room right now, or Stalfos room, however you would like to call that.
All right, so that was too quick a map check, menu check for me to see what he got. One was
Yeah, I
rupees,
did
the
not
other
see
was
either.
the Hyrule Castle map, so 2 unknown items there.
So we see a crystal from Mothula, and Fox was also forced to save and quit out of there because not having the mirror or Bombos, there's no other way to escape that room unless you are able to bomb yourself to death. So we are 1-1 on crystals right now. Fox has defeated Helmasaur, and Tam has defeated Mothula. Fox back to the castle. I don't know why you would go all the way around like this to the Uncle Passage, but nonetheless, we are here.
If we
I'd
changed our
imagine this is going to be a double bomb juke.
if we changed our mind about what we wanted to do, then maybe we'd do this. Tam is going to. This could only be.
Set up a.
No, this could only be lighting the wall to beat Landmo, I think. Excuse me, moving the wall. No. Going to. So trying to set an index, so trying to hook push. So FoxLisk gets the first bomb juke, must do a second one for reasons. Appears
for reasons.
Appears to get it.
A sword in blind cell, that's a good find. Not required at this point, but certainly convenient to have. So the thing about indexing the way TAM is doing it is if they are successfully getting a slot 2 powder, even if the animation is not interrupted, that should give them an index of 6, which is still possible to hook push with, although the setups are generally more difficult, I would say. With the ice rod, it's possible Tam is trying to do a setup I've seen other runners do called double misslotted hooks. Not sure if that requires a high index or not. So if Tam is successful in this hook push, it will take us to Thieves Town, to the top floor.
So that's not happening the way Tam wants it to there.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you why that's failing in particular, because these are some setups that are not desirable. I'm sure it's possible, but it's certainly not a conventional or easy setup.
Now, and with Tam doing that, we're being shown we're doing uncomfortable things. We're out of real good options. This double juke that Fox did and Tam is now doing is fairly difficult. Not runner's first choice for not a preferred option.
Yeah, this is really obnoxious to have to do. The seed is proving to be a difficult one, I would say.
Yeah, so
Not having.
technically we
Go ahead.
have hook pushing of some kind, although as Tam is perhaps demonstrating, very difficult to get right. But otherwise, we have no bottles, no Samaria, no way to set. Well, setting an index is something we supposedly technically can do, but apparently difficult. So none of the real fun tricks like overworld conveyor even work.
I don't even know if they can conveyor with this item set. As usually the common ones that I've seen require sword bow bombs or like sword Samaria block bombs or something like that. And that's with a high index of 10 or higher, which I think is possible for them to do right now, but as we've seen, it's difficult to set up. And this is definitely a difficult seed. And not having a single bottle or the lamp to make setting a high index. Yeah, it's limiting their options since they don't have the Moon Pearl.
Well, you know what they could do to get a link state?
You're going to suggest that they do manual clipping on right side clipping, which means you can't citrus to get the bumper ledge item.
Yeah, just use Malmo's guide. She's a professional at it.
Uh, I'm not sure if I was aware that she already made a guide for that. But meanwhile, Fox has defeated Blind in Thieves Town State and received a crystal, so that's 2 for Fox. Tam exploring the village of outcasts. So this is similar to when Tam was in Skullwoods. However, instead of doing a bunny revival in a dungeon, is accessing this overworld screen by traveling through the underworld. The game has not set the value of Dark World instead of Light World, so it did not check if they have the Moon Pearl. And our first bottle is in the brewery. So
That
they were able
has
to explore this.
that
That
has to
has
be tempting for Tam to dupe.
we have seen Fox Tree Warp as well, I believe, in this tournament. The first bottle is huge. It will definitely allow them to make a lot more choices about where they want to go. But I was just explaining for people who are not aware, but the game does not check for your Moon Pearl except for a few situations. Since they did not do a world transition, they're in what's known as the fake Dark World. And what that means is they are able to specifically explore that overworld screen. As you can see, Fox transitioned and is in the light world, but with the dark world palettes loaded, and has done a clip to check the magic bat. Just a piece of heart. Oh, meanwhile, Tam clearing out Thieves Town. Again, I do apologize to our viewers for the technical difficulties with the game audio and the tracker not updating. No, Eastern is a crystal we see from Fox's map check. Eastern, it can be kind of one of the more annoying dungeons to deal with, as we saw in the previous race earlier this evening. A checkerboard cave from Fox. This is a new check. Just 20 rupees. Okay, Fox is into the back of desert. I'd imagine this is just to do the boss, as there's nothing else to do here. Well, nothing else with these items, I should say. So Tam into the blind fight.
Yeah, I thought Fox might do this. He already has the desert small key in the wild, so he's just going to light the torches to get to Landmill.
Oh, was that the map of Ice Palace on the boss, or on blind?
Possibly. I haven't been paying attention to maps.
Yeah, I missed it when Fox did the fight. Well, if it is, that's a good find. Another GT small on Landmo. Oh, I didn't see that before. Vanilla 300 in C-shaped house. But you get a bottle and money to fill it up in VOO.
All right, here we go.
Okay, Tam is setting up a tree warp. So this tree warp glitch is a sprite overload that, for whatever reason, will spawn a wall master. The wall master, no matter where you are, takes you to the entrance of the last underworld location that you entered. And in this specific case, it also refills whatever chests are on that tile. Or maybe it's a super tile, I'm not sure. But whatever the case is, Tam is duping the bottle using this tree warp glitch.
Ooh, I've never seen the ghost do that.
But
He.
that's an unfortunate hit there. From
Yeah,
I
this
know
is
that wasn't
fine.
supposed to happen.
He's fine. This is an okay way to restart this.
Yeah, the chickens are still where they need to be. I've been told that's the difficult part of the trick is herding the chickens. And Tam gets it. Tree warp. Second bottle, not going for a third. I mean,
Yeah,
since it is on that same screen, I mean, I have to think you'd consider it if you're the type of runner to go for that glitch.
you cannot walk out of an EG2 room once you tree warp. So he could not walk out and repeat the glitch there. Had to save and
Oh,
quit.
okay. So for those viewers who are not aware, the EG2 location means it's a single entrance cave or house or underworld location
Fox's funny
versus
auto
EG1,
walking,
which would be a yeah,
except
it doesn't do the right input and doesn't get the fake flipper though.
so trying to go to Ice Palace, I believe.
Yeah, with the mitts, that's the easiest way to do it, I suppose.
Yeah, we have fire rotting glove, no hammer. That's fine. Fox bought a blue potion, which should get him to cold stare. Worth bearing in mind, Fox has two invisible items out of the Stalfos room in GT that we still don't know. Less and less likely that they were relevant, though.
Yeah, I'll watch the item that he has equipped for his Y button, just in case, but you know how Tam has fake fluted to 7 in the Dark World? So fake fluting gives you a Super Bunny state, and when you pull on a tree pull location, such as that statue, it gives you a temporary link state. So this link state will go away when Tam exits the overworld, if they choose to do that, instead of saving and quitting out of here.
Yeah.
So Fox has Death Warped in Ice Palace to get his link state. Bow and Hype Cave is good.
Yeah, so this is another place that you could tree warp. Sort of difficult, though. Well, definitely difficult to get to the screen to tree warp as a bunny, but you can do it as a bunny.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. We're getting our 5/6 crystal info. Pod and desert. Okay. So the fact that they're 5/6 crystals isn't really important in this mode, but just knowing that they are crystals is valuable. It is worth mentioning that that tree warp glitch that Tam did just a little bit ago can have a lot of undesired effects if done incorrectly. It can crash the game, or at worst, it can corrupt your save file or erase it. So it's good that that was successful.
Yeah, so
For the sake of the race, anyway.
Yeah, Tam going to join FoxLisk in Ice Palace.
It makes sense. Although Tam does have more options than Fox, having 2 bottles instead of 1. So, as you were saying, Fox got a blue potion, and the significance of that is a red or blue potion is required to reach the boss, unless the hammer is just in here on the way.
So we did get a blue boomerang there. That's not irrelevant. That was
Yes, the blue boomerang. The blue boomerang can be used in combination with certain kind of hook pushing to extend the distance. So boomerangs are definitely a lot more valuable in this mode than another mode where it might save a few frames here and there. Here it can greatly expand your options and your access to different areas of dungeons and most notably boss rooms. To answer a question in chat, no logic is rolled with key sanity. And the reasons for that being that it makes it easier to play actually in this mode, but also it just makes more sense because if dungeon items were in their own dungeons, that would be a form of logic, and the items are placed completely randomly in this setting. So Fox, I think that was successful. Does a spin YBA to access Cold Stare without using because he doesn't have the hammer. Does have a glove though. Well, both gloves rather.
he came in here without enough magic and cannot refill. Does not have any item to double hit the shell. He
Well, I
this
didn't notice that. That's
this is
unfortunate.
there is nothing he can do. This is a failure. He has to leave.
Yeah, probably wishing could do the Samaria magic refill or something like that, but obviously that's not possible. That's very unfortunate for Fox. Tam also doing the same spin YBA that we just saw. So normally this would come up earlier in a no logic race, but a YBA or use
Okay,
Zavara's
so
bottle adventure.
so Tam just shot a fire rod to the side, so now he's got a problem. He has to dupe with the bow. This is very tight, very difficult to do, and you really want to have your sword out and be at the very bottom. So this is not the way there we go. This might work. You have to be
I appreciate
real.
your observation, but this is good for the race if Tam also has to save and quit out of here.
Yeah, he has a chance. All right, so things are happening now.